people who are extremely successful, whether it's athletes or anybody who has done something significant in his life, are obsessed with time. You need to surround yourself with people who are with the same value system so that they can pull you up.
Yeah. And also, Neeraj, you need to pull others up also who are deserving.
Exactly.
So humanity thrives on this. The universe says that whoever enriches others, they will get enriched.
Very interesting take. So the third actionable step here is to always over deliver. I will tell you why. And you don't need to over deliver by 200%. It's just if you're delivering 100, just deliver 101 because nobody expects that 101.
And also, rich people pay for the value. For example, they don't want smart people around them, they want valuable people around them. So you have to master, you have to become a master of things. Then people pay the price you ask for.
थैंक यू सो मच फॉर सपोर्टिंग अस। और जाने से पहले ना एक लाइक एंड सब्सक्राइब जरूर कर देना बिकॉज आपका एक लाइक और सब्सक्राइब ना मुझे और मेरी पूरी टीम को बहुत बहुत ज्यादा मोटिवेट करता है। एंड रिमेंबर, वी आर स्पॉटिफाई एक्सक्लूसिव, सो यूट्यूब से 24 आवर्स पहले ड्रीम विद नीरज शो स्पॉटिफाई पे लाइव हो जाता है। एंजॉय द शो। So today's conversation is very interesting because today I have Prem Anand with me, who has literally traveled world, served royalties, and worked for ultra rich people in this world. And जो insights आज के episode में आपको मिलेंगी ना is to give you a exact roadmap how to achieve your dream, how to become a high net worth person in life. And trust me, you can't miss this episode. You're really gonna enjoy this. Enjoy the show. So welcome Prem on Dream with Neeraj Show, and I'm very excited, like a kid, to talk to you because you have insights on this entire world. Literally, you've traveled a lot, and you have a lovely smile. You're looking awesome. So welcome.
Thank you, Neeraj. It's a pleasure and privilege to be here talking about my experiences and also having this share with somebody who is interested.
So the intention for this podcast is कि I want us to give an insight in terms of how ultra rich people think, how successful people think, insights into human behavior. So anyone who watches this podcast, by the end of this podcast, should know कि मुझे लाइफ में क्या करना है ऐसा और how should I break my own patterns and see where I can improve, right? So I'm very excited to give people that. So that's the intention with this pod.
I hope I hope I can do justice for this intention. I will try my best.
Yeah, that's all we need. Best is all we need. So let's start with where all of this journey began. Like, did you ever thought you will travel the world, like meet so many people?
Um, that's a really core question which you asked me because I'm here in Switzerland at the moment. Currently, I'm in India with in a client's office, but I live in Switzerland and I have moved there, which was I didn't initially intend to, but what was my desire, aspirations, and my dreams was to go around the world, watch how other people live, and the other parts of the world in terms of country, in terms of the beauty, in terms of nature, in terms of especially, particularly the human behavior, how different they are, what they are doing differently to us, and so on. So I did have a very strong desire, and I felt that I can achieve this, and I'm glad that I was able to, Neeraj. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting to have a desire to do something. I think nobody as a kid thinks कि मुझे यही चीज करनी है. Like, they don't think this is the exact path that I will follow. So for all the people who are watching this pod, I want you to give a little glimpse of how the journey has been. Like Prem is being very humble here. He has literally, served royalties, and people like you dream of meeting in real life, right? So give me a breakdown of like what crazy ride you have gone through in like 10 minutes. I know it's a lot to ask and condense into, but at least the viewers will know key what is Prem bringing on the table, right?
Um, I can bring us to how you can get what you want and what you got to do to get what you want. This
Wow.
is what I'm able to help them because I've been blessed with. I've got more than what I want, and whatever I wanted, I got it.
That's great. That's great. Can you give me a little brief about your journey in terms of your age, so that the viewers will know ki, okay, Prem, when he was at 25, I did this, maybe at 30. So just a little bit of breakdown so that people know what crazy ride Prem has gone through. And then I will dissect the different behavior and learnings that you had through that ride, right? But I want to experience that ride in a short manner.
Absolutely. I started my hospitality career in Taj Hotel in Chennai at the age of 18. And while I was there working in and out, I during my off days I used to go to Marina Beach, sit on the sand, watch the sea. I would start sitting on my own from about, it would be a day late time, about 5ish or so. You will have a bright light, and you will see the sky, the horizon changes its colors, its beauty. Then I would see the moon come up and the shimmering on the water, and then far away I will see those cargo ships which carry oils or whatever it is. So I used to fantasize, I used to think, if I am on that ship 2 days later, I would be on a different part of the land, where I'm looking at different landscapes and different things. So I wished and I aspired, I desired so strongly that tears will well up. And similarly, sometimes I used to go and sit on the little mount and watch the flights take off from Minambakam. I used to watch the bottom of the flights as the wheels go in, and I used to think similar things, similar thoughts. When am I going to? I used to ask a friend of mine who used to accompany me. I used to ask him, "Money, when is the day we are going to be inside on that flight?" And so on. So that was my beginning, my strong desire of wanting to be somewhere else with some other people, watching landscapes and other things. And of course this came true at the age of 25. um, at the age of 18, I was only working and working. I think these experience which I just mentioned to you could have been 1920 onwards. And for that, I moved into the direction to position myself. From Chennai, I wanted to move to Bombay because all the agencies were located in
Correct.
Bombay. And but Bombay lifestyle was quite hectic, which means I had to share an accommodation, share the
Correct.
toilet, wait for the toilet until somebody finishes. That was quite unacceptable to me to have that lifestyle. So what I did was to next best thing was to take up a work in Lonavala. Luckily, a friend of mine invited me to his resort, five-star resort in Lonavala, which provided me with an accommodation, with a decent place to live, and a decent money. So it used to be on Wednesdays, where the days when I traveled every Wednesday. This was 1.5 year I did this. Every Wednesday I was in Mumbai talking to the agents, doing something or the other to get my goals closer to what I wanted. Lucky enough, there was a British company which came and did some interviews in Pune, and I attended the interview. I took up the job which they offered. The only job which they offered was a startup position called assistant waiter when I was working as an assistant manager in a five-star hotel.
Oh, so you went down the title.
Yes, I went down to being an assistant. There is a price to pay for everything. And my
Yes.
price was to pay for what I wanted all this along was to become an assistant waiter from an assistant manager.
Can I pause you a minute here? There are two interesting things that I've picked up. Like, first is the daring and guts. Like, a lot of people don't understand this. You literally just have to decide to walk the path, and then the road appears. You will never
Yes.
have the road laid down already and then decide कि अब मैं यहाँ चलूंगा. You took the decision that I have to walk this path, and then Lonavala, different opportunities start to come up, right? You put your own standards. I want this in life, so let me take an active decision. So I want to highlight here, and I'm a big fan of this, is intentional living. A lot of people just react of life, right? They don't intentionally choose, right? So first is that. And the second part you were mentioning, a stripping of title. This is very interesting because when I quit my own job, I had a title of a manager. I had a title of a leader. But when I'm stripped away of that, there is a part of your identity that goes away, right? People recognize you through your title. Nobody just says, "What is Neeraj doing?" So they will say always your title, like Prem is this, Neeraj is this. They don't know who Neeraj is. If, in fact, Neeraj doesn't know who Neeraj is, or Prem doesn't know who Prem is. But you had that guts to strip down. Like even for me, people don't get this key. A lot of time you have to have the talent of letting go of things. You cannot be stringent in life key. This is the only path that I walk. If you want something and you see, maybe if I let this go, I can accommodate something else, something better in long term, I should make that active choice. So these are the two things that I wanted to highlight for all the people here through your journey, right? And a lot of
Neeraj,
times,
yeah,
yeah, please go on.
sorry. No, no, you are absolutely right. See, titles are just created by us, and how
So
we
true.
connect. The main thing in life is what I have learned is what is the story you are telling yourself.
So
You,
important.
you are the author of your life, and in that, what is the story you are telling about each and everything? Each and everything. Forget about the whole saga
Yeah.
about this glass what you're going to buy. What are you saying? This glass is 4 rupees, this glass is 4,000 rupees, this glass is 400,000 rupees. Because I have worked in places where there is each piece of equipment, each piece of a little uh, artifact which is on their living room, which is
Correct.
placed there in one shelf itself. Hundreds and thousands of pounds are sitting out there.
Wow.
So if it is made of that crystal that is valued around 140,000, if the same bird is made of a plain glass, it could be only 140 pound or 140 rupees.
Correct.
So in making that value 100 times, there is a story which
So true.
have convinced these people to put it on the shelf. The story which is it is made of such a such crystal, it is going to bring this value to my place. So these are the narrations they are saying to themselves to put that piece there, which means this applies to every part of our life. In my life, I had an opportunity to get what I wanted. For anything and everything, there is a price to pay.
So true.
Price what I paid was, in my opinion, was okay. But there might be other people who tell themselves a story. How can I become an assistant waiter from an assistant manager? Their story might be true to them, but their
Correct.
life depends on that story, what they tell themselves.
I think this is so beautiful, na? The guts you had to go down and literally start from zero again is exactly what makes you different from anybody else. Like there had been so many people who would have gotten the same opportunity, but how many of them had the guts to literally let it go and then begin from a new journey? Be a learner first. That eventually everything will come to me, but I have to learn first. People just chase money without knowing that you need to increase your value first. If you don't increase your value first, how can somebody give you more money if you don't have the value? As you said, the glass, and then it can be sapphire crystal or something very fancy of which the glass is made. It's the material that is increasing the value. It's doing the same work. It's gonna be used to drink something, right? The work is not changing, but the quality is changing. The essence is changing, right? And that is where
Yes.
people need to focus.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's very well said, Neeraj. And whatever story you are telling yourself, it is truth.
Yeah, so
You
true.
say you cannot do it, you cannot do it. You can do
Yeah,
it, you can do it.
yeah,
Whatever you say, that's true.
yes, absolutely. I think if you can't convince yourself, how can you convince the world that you can do it? The difficult part is convincing yourself.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, if Shah Rukh Khan
I
had the
mean,
guts,
actually, that's not the difficult part. Actually, that is the easiest part. Simple things are very challenging
yes,
because that should be the easiest part. To convince others should be more difficult than to convince yourself. But that is the most, that is where your either progress or going down starts.
Correct.
We know that, but to employ that, to see through it, to put into action, is where there are challenges.
So true. I think people underestimate how difficult it is to be simple in life, to make simplistic decisions. Right? It's always the clarity that you should chase. And being simple is difficult because you need a lot of clarity to make decisions that
Exactly.
are
Well
fundamentals.
said. Yes, exactly. Well said. Yeah.
Right? So I love it. Like through your journey, we got to take so many takeaways already in like first 10-15 minutes of the pod. Now I'm gonna be a kid and I'm gonna ask you the most exciting question that I have is, you've worked with royalties, you've worked with ultra rich people, right? So firstly, I'm gonna ask you how maybe interacting with these people for that first time in Prem's life, how did it change your mindset? Like first time you met a royalty, you were like you were in a pressure situation that you cannot make a mistake. You were also in a exciting moment. Ki, I am doing this. I'm the first one to do this, right? So firstly, how did that change your life? And then we will talk about how different the mindset of these people are.
Okay. Um, to be actually, a lot of people think it's the most complicated, or it's so to be in that place is very challenging, and so on. So what I would say is to serve these people, or to be in a position to be there, to get qualified to be there, is the most challenging. But
Correct.
once you are there, to execute and to do it is extremely simple. It's extremely simple because they come from an extremely well refined and sophisticated environment, and they have grown up like that. So even if you make a mistake, they would never point it out.
Okay.
Yeah. So, however, to come there, to be in a position to serve them, then you got a lot of things to do, which
Yeah.
means for others to see, to make the decision to put you in that level, to put you in that, to provide you that opportunity, you really need to be good. You really need to be deserving. You really need to be in levels where you need to play your game.
So true. So, can you let me know, like, what are the names of the royalties that you have served, like, you are very proud of, and like, what a person should do to achieve a level where they can even interact with such people?
Okay. Um, I've been privileged, and I'm humbled to have served. My first guest was Her Royal Highness Princess Anne, and followed by that, I've served during my work with my employers. They've been guests. Prince Charles, at that time he was Prince Charles, now he's King Charles. And I've served Prince Andrew, I've served Prince Andrew's wife Sarah Ferguson, and quite many, quite a list of people
Yeah,
who comes from those families I have
got it.
served. And also lords and ladies, quite a lot of people to name. um, I have also been head butler of a very old Elizabethan house, the oldest Elizabethan house in the world, called the Burley House in Stamford. So, through that opportunity, lots of ladies and lords used to visit us, and I was a head butler there. I was assisted by two British butlers, and so on. So, apart from that, I have also served prime ministers starting from Tony Blair to
Wow,
possibly Boris Johnson. All the linear, the whole set
got it,
of people:
got it, got it,
Tony Blair, Gordon Brown, David Cameron, and the lady person who was there.
got it.
All these people. So yes,
Yeah,
this is how it goes, and all this is due to the employees whom I used to work for.
got it. Now I'm gonna ask you something interesting. Since you've met so many people, like I haven't met royalties yet, but hope to do that. I'm gonna ask you something interesting. Is like, can you tell me one of the instances, like when you were interacting with any of these people, like out of a big pool, I know, one story that you remember ki that give you something in life, like after that experience you had a change in yourself, like this was something new, right? After you interacted with one of these people and you came back, and after that story happened, you were like, okay, this is also a part of life, or maybe something, if you can remember it, it is still bringing smile on your face. So I'm sure there might be some instance. So can you share one of those instances?
I work for a very popular, influential man who was one of the richest man in United Kingdom, and I was approached by a particular newspaper for answering questions, for which they said will be just about 8 9 minutes, which I refused to give. But 10 days down the line, I could see that this same newspaper has published the article in the light what they wanted it to be when I looked for, So what has happened was, um, the principal came and asked me, Prem, were you approached by some? Yes, I said yes, I was, and this is what has happened. So this particular newspaper has chased my predecessor who was in that
Got
position,
it. Got it.
and that person was in South Africa, living his normal life, but they could get things out of him for the
Got it.
article being published, which really damaged this person's reputation, and it caused a havoc in his political life also. So, one of the things in our positions, what we do is we never ever, whatever it is, if we are in agreement, we should work and we should be there. And the most important thing in my line of work is the integrity and the values.
So true.
If you cannot provide that, then you should be doing that. And if you're doing that, then you should never ever abuse your trust, your position of trust. So that particular person might have been rewarded for this, but their life in this line of work, if they want to sustain, they would never be taken. They can never come back in this line of work.
So true. So true. I like that. It's a beautiful way of putting it. You always need to become worthy of something before you actually achieve it in life.
Yeah,
It never happens vice versa. And if it happens vice versa, it won't last.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. So now I'm gonna divert this into a space. So suppose, for example, this is a very funny, maybe curious question, maybe. So if anybody stumbles or maybe have an opportunity, like a once in a lifetime opportunity to interact with any high value person or a royalty, what are the things that they should keep in mind in their first interaction?
Royalties um, can sense things. Generally, people can sense things, but they
Yeah,
are more into, they
perceptive,
can,
more
yeah,
perceptive.
more perceptive. Okay. So, if you have the respect, try and show it in your own way, possible way,
Got it.
first.
Got it.
Being thoughtful is a currency where it is valued anywhere and everywhere. See, there are basic things which you can follow,
Got
just
it.
not for royalties. For royalties, it is best if you know the protocol and etiquettes. If you
Correct.
do not know, also if you are a commoner, they appreciate the commoners also, but they adopt the universal currencies like being
Got it.
thoughtful
Got it.
and very mindful. You be present there. For
Got it.
example, how
Got
you
it.
move, who are you next to you, what is the question, where are they moving, if you are observing, be fully present.
Got it.
That all these are universal. Everybody can be successful in when they adopt these things. So just being you naturally, but being present fully and being considerate and thoughtful and mindful about what you are doing, how you are doing itself is sufficient to be there as a commoner. But if you are really professionally working, then please do learn protocols and etiquettes, addressing how you wanted to address them, and there are certain body languages, there are certain things which you need to follow. For example, if you see them, if you can see this, if you see royalty is coming or going or something like that, what we do, we let's say they are passing you and you are in the, you can just either do a courtesy if it's a lady, or you can just bow your head, you can just bow your head and smile. That's more than enough. So
Got
these
it.
are certain simple things what a commoner can do. And if you're really professionally going to be employed, then you will be taught about the protocols, etiquettes, what are they saying, how to say, when to talk, when not to talk, and never. Uh, I mean, if you are not sure, just smile and be present. That's more than enough.
Got it. Got it. I think everyone appreciates a little touch of yourself and attention. I think it boils down to you being authentic in front of someone, because I think the most interesting thing a person and easily a person can sense is being fake. Like when you are not genuine, I think not just royalty, anybody can tell that you are not being genuine. You're just trying to maybe people please, or you're just trying to portray that you want to do everything for them, but people get it. So don't try to abuse that sense, right? Just be genuine. I think that's the thing. So it's very interesting to know that as you mentioned, ki they won't point out your mistake, because what perception I had that maybe they would, because they're used to getting treated in a way, and so that's a very interesting thing that I learned from you. I think they would observe it, keep it in their mind, not point it out to you, but let the appropriate authority know. Maybe you can give this feedback to Prem in a way where he gets to know that the next time this needs to be done in a different way, right? Is that right?
They don't have time or they don't have the thing to do, but if it is necessary and if it's a state banquets or a really important thing, then obviously the authorities will come to know about it and they will follow up. But 9 out of 10 times, mostly you will get away with it because they are so engrossed in the
Yeah,
conversation,
yeah,
social
yeah.
social etiquettes and things like that. If it is so, first of all, you won't be in a position to make some awkward mistakes because the people who are placed there are not strangers. The people around them, that is what I say, Neeraj. When you are in a position where you are placed or to be in an opportunity to serve them, you have already have achieved quite a lot,
Correct,
which means you are an established person. You can be trusted with this ability or with this responsibility. So
correct,
you are placed there. There could be silly things which happens, and that silly things they will overlook. Mostly they won't even take it further. If
correct.
it's really bad, really drastic, really, there are many mistakes. Even the royal, even the state visit people do. Barack Obama did this mistake when there was a thing in the God Save the Country when it was sung. He's not supposed to talk. He started talking at the state banquet dinner and then giving a toast. When you give a toast
Got it.
after the thing is sung, when they started, he started giving a toast, which was not appropriate. So these situations are so delicate that even the president of United States has not been properly briefed.
Got
If
it.
he was briefed, he would not have done that. So what I'm trying to say is there are mistakes even the state's head makes, but it will be overlooked. It will become a news. But in terms of staff making mistakes, it will not become such a news unless it's really she thinks important and the particular royalty takes it forward. 9 out of 10 times this will not go any forward, and most of the people who are placed there are all very well qualified. It could be some very silly, very small things, errors which they are aware of, they won't even report it.
Got it.
9
Got
out
it.
of 10 times they won't report it.
Got it. So basically, they are already engrossed in such high value tasks that they have to do, that they wouldn't pay attention to something which is irrelevant and not valuable for their
Exactly.
time. And it's very different from a very I would say common man perspective. Like it's very different. We think in a very different way. They think of time in a very different way. That's what I'm getting out of it.
So but in Middle East, I have served. I've trained one of the Middle Eastern uh, royal protocol. The people who are serving the head table. There are 28 butlers who are serving the head table, and I've trained them, and I've means during the training, I've
Got it.
gone through their difficulties, their challenges, and I've addressed it. But what just now I gave you an example which was typical in the Western countries, but
Got it.
here in Middle East, I've also heard there was a prince or there was a minister who might make it as a very big issue out of it, or who might not behave as well as the other royal members are. So it depends also where it happens and who is the person who is exposed to such a thing, and also what is their pedigree. So the pedigree, what I mentioned to you, comes from the royal families of the Western countries, but
Got it.
it could be from some Middle Eastern country or something. It could be a different consequence. It could be differently handled. So it's not hard and fast rule. It depends on where you are and who is facing your situation also.
So, Prem, coming to the most exciting part that I want to learn from you is about the human behavior. And since you have met literally like different kinds of human, I would say at a different success level altogether, walk me through the difference between how would a ultra rich person think in his mindset to a commoner, or maybe to someone who's not at that level yet. I don't want to bifurcate people that they are low or high, but I'm just trying to understand this.
Yeah, they think very differently, Neeraj. Um, Common people will look for, is it worth, they so how they look for is it worth this money. The billionaires look for, if there is a value, that is the worth, anything is worth. So the difference is, we try to look for pennies, they look for value in it. They don't constrain themselves with regards to the dollars or rupees or money. If there is a value, I'm willing to pay. That's it. There is no question. You know. Uh,
Okay, so
yeah.
allow me to pause you here. I'm just going to summarize it. I'm trying to understand this. Is key. So if I am somebody who's ultra rich, right? I would like to look for value first, irrespective of what I'm paying, whether that is adding value in my life.
Yes.
And how normally people look is what I am being charged first, rather than looking at what I'm being getting out of that money as a value, right? They will always think, okay, I need to keep somebody at home who will cook for me, but he'll charge me $300 per month, $3,000 per month, anything like that. But what an ultra rich person would think, it saves me X amount of time per month, where I can earn maybe 10 times of that amount. Is it a right way to
Yes,
put it?
absolutely. So, see, the time is the most valuable. They know the value of
Correct.
time. Time is the most valuable aspect for them. So, they know if you are giving the solution to save either time or money or anything, they will pay, because for them, making money is the easiest, getting time is not. For us, if we can save this amount of money, we will give time. So I mean, common people put their focus on something absolutely trivial for ultra high net worth people.
So I'm going to divide this into two things: rich mindset, poor mindset. It's easier for people to
Okay.
understand two classes of people, right? So I love this conversation. Why? Because I think in all of my journey that I've learned is people who are extremely successful, whether it's athletes or anybody who has done something significant in his life, are obsessed with time. Obsessed with time. You know, as you said, you can get money, right, with your value, with your skills and stuff like that, but you can never get the time
Yeah.
back. I think I would give a very simple example of Amitabh Bachchan. I'll tell you why. In India, there is a Paytm thing, right? UPI, which is very famous in India. Like you scan, and then
UPI.
there is
Yeah.
a
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, there is a machine of payment
Yes.
gateway which says you have
Yes.
received. Yeah. So you might have heard Amitabh Bachchan says, bhai, Devi or Sajjano, thank you for X amount of money whenever any vendor pays it, right? Now he's getting paid to just give his voice. He's not working for you. He's not working for PTM. But that's the leverage you get when you start focusing on time. I think the goal that I'm trying to summarize here is that you need to increase your value of time so much, like per hour basis. And I've realized it that people who are ultra successful, ultra rich, they count their worth of time
Yes.
on hourly
Yes.
basis. What am I worth right now? And that is how they define the success of life. If anything that is costing me below this, I can delegate. So, for example, if the value of my 1 hour is 7 lakhs, and if I'm giving somebody 15,000 and it saves me 1 hour of my life, I still get 6,95,000. That is still my own money that I'm getting back, right? So, I think they have a reference system in their head. If I'm able to make this amount from 1 hour of my life, which is my leverage, and if anything that comes below that amount can be delegated, why not delegate it? And that is what people don't understand, because eventually that piles up and it gives you such a huge advantage in every walk of life.
Yes.
Does that summarize it?
Yes, not only the see, your example is only with time. It's not only the time. They also appreciate the skills. They also appreciate what you
Correct.
bring to the table. They also appreciate that your values also they appreciate. So the second thing what they do is first is time. Second is they only allow people who are in sync with their values to be around them.
So true.
Okay. Third is they surround themselves with the environment where they can thrive.
Nice.
Okay, so
Nice.
that is why now the community building is growing in India or in whole world. It is growing because they have come to realize that these are the things high net worth and billionaires have been doing for a long time. That's how they become affluent and they thrive and they make more and more and more because they are surrounding themselves with the people who are in sync with who they are, what they are, right? So these three things, and the fourth thing what they do is they really they don't forgive or forget. They once
Nice.
it's done, it damage is done. You are out. No, there is no
Correct.
second chance.
Correct.
Okay, so you have developed to get some sort of a closeness. They have started trusting you. The best way to further that is to keep delivering on that and keep making them feel that their trust is trustworthy.
I think I'll summarize this in a way. First is time. Second is value system. Third is your community building, like I would say
They
environment, and the
don't build
fourth one is
community. They
community.
only they surround them.
Thrive in that
Okay,
community.
building community
Yeah,
is my
yeah.
example. Now
Okay,
which
okay.
is becoming popular, they surround themselves with their own yeah, community means not in terms of their caste or their thing, but the way how they are. Ultra high net worth
Correct.
is surrounded with ultra high net worth. Okay, so yeah.
I think I'll add some value here is that I've realized this. I think this is the easiest way you can grow. Be the least of the five people around you so that you can get something from them.
Yes.
Once you become the best out of it, you have nothing to gain,
Yeah.
right? And then change the group. That is how you literally grow. People like extremely successful people understand this, that in life, you need to surround yourself with people who are with the same value system so that they can pull you up,
Yeah.
whenever you need them.
And also, Neeraj, you need to pull others up also who are deserving.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
humanity thrives on this. The universe says that whoever enriches others, they will get enriched. I have enriched lots of people or people's lives by giving them experiences, and I have flourished. Okay, so once you attain certain level, try and give something out of it to make others to come also reach also, and without anything, that will make you grow.
I definitely agree with it because I think we all live individually, but we grow together. You will have so many hands
Your
along the
growth only
way
happens
where you
together.
get
There is
supported.
no, first of all,
Yeah,
it's not,
yeah,
your growth only happens together.
that is there. So it's a very interesting aspect, like, how different people think in same situations. The situation is same, the mindset is very different, right? Now I want to give you a question, is that how do these people take setbacks?
This is
Like,
what
because
I was
that
about to
exactly
say also,
determines.
but good you asked me this question.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
was my
yeah.
another point, but you came to that. Yes, exactly. One morning, I'm coming back to work as usual. I go by scooter from my home to Mayfair, which was about 20 minutes, but it is huge traffic area through Westminster. And I park my scooter. The guy who is in the house is a houseman. He's called a houseman, who means he's 24/7 in the house. He goes on holiday, somebody else will take his place. So this is one of the requirements of our principles, that there will be a skeleton staff in the house, ladies maid, houseman, and things like that. So the houseman came running to me and said, I tried to reach you, because he was trying to call me while I'm on the scooter. I tried to reach you. Yes, okay. So he took me down to the swimming pool and showed the swimming pool. The whole floor has fallen into the swimming pool. The ceiling had a beautiful lighting, which reflected the galaxy stars. It's exactly replica of the galaxy stars, in one place where there is a certain stars which is in line, the planet and line. So this fallen off, and so my job now as a house manager is to find out why it has fallen down, get this fixed, and also get the insurance company to assess it, right? So I made my calls first. I called the insurance company, I called the plumber, I called. So
Got it.
plumber was on his way, already on his way. And now my boss called me, and I went to my boss and he asked me, Prem, what's going on? I said, these are the actions I've taken. Then he asked me another question. Are you going to wait until the insurance comes and assess it? I was just quiet. I didn't answer anything. And then he said, you better not, because I want this to be fixed, the first and foremost. So, how we think and how the high net worth people think are completely different. They wanted things to be put back as soon as possible. It has to be on the roll. When Neckerman Islands got burned, which belongs to Richard Branson, the refurbishing work was on its way before the insurance people arrived. They cleared it up so quickly in those islands. Still, there were people clearing it up before the insurance people arrived. So they don't wait for people to come and assess or give them the damage. They wanted things to put back to normal ASAP. And another thing which ultra high net worth people differ is, don't give any, if you are there serving them, your job is to provide solutions. Don't give reasons why you can't provide solutions. Never ever. You won't stay in job. You will be out very soon. Just
Got
come
it.
with the solution. Give the solution. When they call and ask you what's happening, you must present only what are the steps, when it will be fixed, how it will be fixed, and that's it. Even the cost, there it's lost. You
Got
know,
it. Got it. I think.
people on their way. 4 o'clock, this work will start. This work will go on for 1 week. It will be finished by this time. This is what they want to hear. And also, rich people pay for the value. For example, they don't want smart people around them, they want valuable people around them. They will keep the valuable people even if they are less skilled. And if you want some help, for example, your job description gives 7 sets of skill sets. You are short in one set and you need somebody else to do the job, and you want to employ someone, they are okay with it. But don't give them the thing that I can do it and you will not deliver. No, you can tell them that this I'm not so good at it, I will take somebody else to do it. That's okay for them. So you should never feel intimidated or feel short or anything. They want to see you as you are, but they will keep you even if you are less skilled for your values. So mainly concentrate on your values, 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 your integrity, your values. That is what they want.
So that are two actionable steps that I got. Now you can continue your journey, and then I'll pick up something from it.
Yeah. So I pursued it, and I
Yeah.
entered into this private household in 2008. In 2010, when Downton Abbey was telecasted, it became so popular. Reader's Digest wrote an article, and I was one among the three butlers who were featured. Two British butlers were there, and I was the third. I was also part of it. So, which means
Wow.
I completely worked in these 2 years, synced and worked and worked and worked so strong and things, which means I was obsessed about all aspects of it. So, in every work, the limitation is where you draw the limitation. There is no limitation in the work. For example, my work after being a butler, moving into household manager was only admin limitations. In admin limitations
Correct.
itself, I went further and learned technical aspects of it. Like what are the whole year calendar for this garden? What is the life? What is the cycle for the lawn maintenance? What is the cycle for these trees? When it has to be nourished, when it has to be supplied with something, when it has to be pruned, all these things I learned. I never had to learn because these are all part of the job of gardeners. Where I never had to learn how much is the capacity of the pump to pump a water to the fourth floor at this level. In this bathtub has to be filled within 30 seconds. This is the size of the bathtub. Within 30 seconds, if I have to fill up, what is the pressure of water has to come? So what pump I have to use? I don't have to learn. But I have asked, I have learned, I've gone through this in the level which is that people, my employers were amazed that certain questions I could answer even without discussing with my contractors. You know, so in a place where they consider this is a valuable investment. I want this
Yeah.
investment to be here. I don't want him to
Correct.
leave. I will pay
Correct.
it.
Correct.
That's
Correct.
why first employer paid me 100% more hike when I want to give when I gave him a notice.
Yeah, allow me to pause you here. Very interesting take. So the third actionable step here is to always over deliver. I will tell you why. And you don't need to over deliver by 200%. It's just if you're delivering 100, just deliver 101 because nobody expects that 101.
Yeah,
Everybody is delivering 100. Like as you said, what you're supposed to do is expected of someone, right? But what you deliver, if it is more than what was expected, just even in a slight sense, it's amazing. I'll give you a very easy example here so that audience can understand it. Johnny Liver, he's a very famous
yes,
comedian in India, right? When he joined, right, comedians were not seen as somebody who could thrive in a film or in a long-term career. He's still acting. He's still doing Hera Fairy, like different movies, right? He's still a very dominant figure. What he did different, he not just did comedy for people, he did body language, he did mimicry, he did so many subtle
exactly.
touches. He was delivering comedy, but why people remembered? Because he over delivered by what people did not expect. Nobody expected him to do this all body actions. Nobody expected him to mimic the voices of different people. Nobody even took him that serious, but he over delivered in a slight sense. He was doing comedy the whole 20-25 years of his career,
Exactly.
right? But he did it different. He did it in a way that was the most comfortable to him. He knew mimicry is my strength. He knew body language is my strength. He knew I can do this. Nobody else can do it as Johnny Lever does, right? And I think that is the third step. Be you, because nobody else can replicate you and slightly over deliver of what is expected.
Yes, yes. Okay. So
Correct.
there is a very interesting example by Brian Cobb. Do you know him? A basketball player in United States. He's a very popular one. And at one point, he told that this basket is not aligned. Nobody noticed it. Nobody noticed it. Even the people who conducted the event. Then they brought in technical
Okay.
people and looked at it. What he said was right. It is slightly slanted towards the right side. It has dropped off. This guy
Okay.
has mastered the game so much that when he shoots, it must go. Because he couldn't make it, he seen why. And then he found out that little shift in the basket, which amazed people, and they reset it. After that, every time he could score.
Wow. Wow. So I'm gonna summarize this into, it's not about if you're good at something, it's about how good you are at something.
Yes.
That sets you apart, right? Everybody can put a basket, but what is the level of delivery that you're doing it? Every time you nail it, right? Every time you do it with perfection, every time you make people go in awe of it. Right? I can deliver a dish, maybe somebody else can deliver a dish, but what is that one thing that I can do is that makes the people go awe? Even in my job life, like, when I was in a position as a analyst, like joined as an analyst, I used to think like I'm not an analyst, I am also consultant to this client, because if I'm speaking to this USA client or this UK client, right, I just don't want to deliver what I'm supposed to do. I want to give them insights, I want to solve their problem, I want to make their life easier.
Yes.
And when you shift the conversation from how your life easier to how their life is easier,
Absolutely.
that is when you grow in life.
Absolutely.
That is exactly where you grow in
Yes.
life.
You care because you why you become like that is because you care. The care has to be there. When the care is there, then it comes with the responsibility. Once it comes with the responsibility, that is the value what is high net worth people are looking for. You know,
So true.
do
I
do
think,
it right when nobody's looking at.
yeah, yeah, so true, so true. I think I'm going to add one line to this is that you know where you have cut corners even when nobody else notices,
Yes.
right? And that is exactly where you grow. Because even if somebody tells you are being brilliant, Prem, you are being brilliant, right? You know you could have done this slightly better because you know your potential. Nobody else does. And sometimes even you don't know your potential. You keep on surprising yourself. Okay, wow, I did this. Maybe I can do it slightly better. Now, again, I did this better, right? Maybe I'm doing this in a way where this can make this easier for this person, right?
Abs-
So that's a very big key takeaway here.
Absolutely. 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 So, if to answer
So,
your question, if they can integrate all these things, they need to care, and with careness, with being caring, a responsibility comes. So you keep up with the responsibility, you bring values, and you become so good at it that when you are not able to deliver, then you know there is nothing wrong with you, but there is wrong in the either in the environment or in the system. So
so true.
you start not doubting you start doubting the external thing, and you wanted to fix that one next. So you have to master, you have to become a master of things. Then people pay the price you ask for.
When you're consistent with over delivering, when you're consistent with improving yourself, when you're consistent with giving somebody an experience to remember you, that is when compounding happens. And eventually, with time, you realize how far you have come as an individual and how you have changed your own mindset from being in a scarcity mindset to being in a growth mindset to being in a, what you can say, thriving mindset. That you're not thinking of surviving, you're thinking of thriving,
Yes.
right?
Yes, absolutely, Neeraj. Neeraj, another thing I would like to say from my own life example is people want results, people want rewards. There is no second thoughts about it that they. But the thing is, instead of looking for rewards, look in what you are delivering, look in uh, how you are delivering, look in, believe in the process, believe in the system. So one simple example I will give you. You remember the first person who gave me a breakthrough in taking me into the household. See, I told you that in 2008, what as I will just narrate this little story. I was, despite having this huge amount of credibility, I struggled to get into what I wanted. Right into it, I was
Correct.
really struggling. Finally, a call came through to me. Not finally, the call came through, and when the call came through to me, asking me to come and visit somebody's office, I already registered for my butler course, which means I have already. But now this call which came through was from certain person. This person was a billionaire, one of the richest men in the United Kingdom. But when he traveled on the cruise butlers depend very much on the tips, the extra money they make.
Got it.
They predominantly their
Got it.
earnings come from tips. So what happened
Tips.
was, just going back the history back here, This particular person used to stay with us regularly. In a year, once or twice he comes. So the butlers who attend him knew his background, but then when he just tipped just over the average tips, which means the expectation of the people were so high. When they he gave it just over average tips, they thought he
Yeah, yeah.
meager. So this is a
Uh,
relative thing.
got it.
And so to reflect that, they also treated him like just the basics. Need they delivered
Need to serve
the
basis.
as and when required.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
they didn't
Got
go
it.
above and beyond.
Got it.
For me, being the first butler, also I also wanted to be an example. Also, it's not only example. I'm a person who don't care for. I've been taken care because I keep
Yeah,
delivering
yeah.
consistently. Even if it doesn't pay, money comes from somewhere else from. I've seen it time and time
Got it.
again. So I have
Got it.
no fear.
Got it.
With
Yeah, yeah.
me dealing with this person, what I did was delivered above and beyond because that was my standard
Correct.
and finished. We didn't meet, we didn't talk to each other for 6 years. 2000, the last time I seen was 2003, and the call came in 2008. 5 years. 5 years we never seen or get in touch. But I moved to UK in 2006 already, which he never knew that I'm living in UK, I'm struggling, I'm looking for a job. He never knew. But the call just came from his assistant to say, Prem, this person want to see you. Our boss want to see you.
Correct.
I went to
Correct.
his office. He threw a book on my table and said, "Have a look at it." I looked at it. It is about the house which has all Victorian furnishing, a garden,
Yeah, yeah,
beautiful
yeah.
things. So it was clearly his house, which is in the pictorial representation.
Manner. Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like a brochure. So
Yeah, yeah.
this is
Got
my
it.
country house in Buckinghamshire. I would like to invite you to come and have a look at it because I would like you to look after this house. This I
Okay.
have been desperately waiting for in the last 2 years, and I resolved even if this doesn't come, I'm happy with junior butler position, which means I'll be a junior assistant for a butler just to get into the door. But now I am presented with a responsibility where I will be looking after 300-acre estate on my own. This came from the same person who didn't treat this man very well. Okay, they treated him well, which means not above and beyond. They delivered on what he wanted.
Correct. Correct.
So what has
What they're
happened
supposed to do.
for me, the reward didn't come at that time. Now after 6 years, I got what I wanted through this man.
Got it.
So what I am saying to everybody here who is watching this is, don't worry about the reward, don't get disappointed. What you're putting in will come out somewhere or the other, somehow or the other.
So true. So true. So true.
And it's true, I've seen it time and time and time again. Whatever I wanted, I got it. Just by scooter, I go every day away, and I wanted to work in that one corner close to Buckingham Palace. After 3 years, I get a job there. Somebody calls me. I never applied also for that job. It
Wow.
just came. It just that woman asked me, Jane Urquat, the agency thing, Prem. I said, I'm not doing any permanent jobs now. I'm doing only temping jobs. I'm not doing anything. I'm doing only assignments. She said, Prem, I really want you to come and have a look at this. And she just gave me a brief on the phone and gave me the address and go and look at the employers. And through that for a particular work only, I have looked after every prime minister in the history. Every minister, they come there for confidential meetings
Wow.
and things like that.
Wow.
So you can never, you have, when you think about I want this, you have a limitation. But when you put in the work, and when the work brings you things, there is no limitation.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Very interesting thing that you have said, Uh, and I would summarize this in terms of people often have value based upon what somebody expects of them. If somebody expects low, they deliver low. If somebody expects high, they deliver high, right? But what you were doing were having an expectation of yourself that I will deliver a high no matter what or who it is. It's Prem standard, and I'm gonna stay at my standard, right? So you kept that standard, and that is what gave you the opportunity that you got in your life. You never did it कि इसको अच्छा लगेगा तो मैं ये करूंगा, or if this person likes it or that person likes it. If like I know where I can deliver the best, I'm gonna deliver the best irrespective of what is happening in life, and that has consistently bought you a reputation, opportunities which people don't usually get. Why? Because they have seen Prem doesn't care where he is, what he is doing. What he cares is how he's doing it, how well he's doing it, what can he do better than others. That is the value that people saw in you consistently, and that is rare, and that made you stood out in fronts of like so many people. I am sure there have been so many people who would have been applying for the same position, who must be fighting for the same position, who must be qualified or overqualified or underqualified, but you got it. Why? Because you did something but no one was doing it. And life is simple. Like coming back to that point of us starting this podcast, like being simple is difficult in life.
Absolutely.
It was a very simple thing to do, to always deliver, to always deliver better than what somebody expects. That is the simple thing you were doing your entire life. And that is what God was doing to you as well,
Yes.
giving you more than what you expect.
Absolutely.
Right? When you give
Absolutely.
more than what somebody gets, you also get it back. Right? It's so beautiful.
Yes, absolutely. And also these are universal truths. It's not a secret.
Yes.
It's a universal truth. Just
Yeah.
tune into it. That's all. Just tune into it. Anybody can do this. Everybody can do this, and everybody is capable. The universe does not distinguish anybody. Just
So true.
put in, just put in. It will come. Have the courage, have the confidence, have the be collected, be composed. It will come. There is no other way.
So true. So true. I'm going to summarize this entire podcast because I feel, Prem, you are an inspiration from the journey that you have started to taking it with a very intentional life. And what I see common in every person that I meet who's delivering high value, who's doing successful in their life, is having the courage to choose that life. I think that is what is missing from a lot of people. Everyone has talent. I don't see कि लोगों में talent नहीं है. Everyone has that talent. But what is lacking is, do you have the guts to choose that life, to think that you're worthy enough of that life, right? That is what is missing in people. So to summarize this entire conversation, I think we have given a lot of things where people can learn from it. But the simple and the most important thing that you need to learn is that you need to have the guts to choose what you want in life.
Yes. And our mind can be so misleading us. And if you trust that you can create, you first of all separate yourself. You just say, I'm nobody, I'm here to do things, and things will come to me, it will happen. As you rightly said,
Yeah,
keep the
yeah,
simple things
yeah,
and it will work.
yeah. Yeah, people make it so complicated. If you miss someone, call. If you want to do something, do it. If you want a fit body, start gymming. Life is not that complicated. We make it that complicated. God has defined fundamental, simple actions. If you want to become a chef, learn cooking. If you want to do something, if you want to throw a basket, you need to pick up the ball and throw, right? It's not a rocket science in life to be successful. It's like you need to actively take the steps. The point is, you need to have the conviction. That is what is missing in people. Everybody throws the ball in the basket, but I have the conviction it's gonna go in. I have the conviction to make that dunk. I have the conviction to be the best scorer. Right? That is what separates you.
Yeah.
Simplistic action paired with conviction, and not being obsessed with the result. As you said, rightly said, the process is the more enjoyable journey. And when you start enjoying that, you take yourself out of the pressure of whether it happens or not, because then you are in a loop of, if it happens I'm going to do, if it doesn't happen, what's the use of it? Why should I work hard? Why should I do this? Why should I that? And that's a very pathetic way to live life. Right? Why should I wake up if I don't get a food? Right? Why should I? So it's a loop that you need to break for yourself, and nobody else can do that. It's a remote control that only you have,
Abs-
and only you can change the channel. And that is again your power. A lot of times people forget you are also creator of your life along with God. God is saying, okay, well, you want something, I am there with you, but you need to start choosing it, right? And that is how I would summarize it.
I mean, the universe, you have to believe, is here to see us flourish, to see us thrive, to be joyful, to make others people valuable, to make your own values. So you just have to tune into it and get it going. There is no, it is not you who make things happen. You are making things happen with the help of what is set out there. That by default, the setting is that it will happen. Believe.
Yeah, that's so beautiful.
By default, the setting is it will happen. By default, we are all tuned to be healthy. We are all tuned to be
Yeah,
happy. Healthy. Why? Because 100%. See, you are a classic example, Neeraj. What happened to you and how you have made it back? You are sitting here and talking. Your life is
yeah,
a classic example of this, isn't it?
yes,
Your body has helped you because you have helped your body to do what it set out to do. You tuned in
so
and
true.
said, "This is what you are set out to do. Do it for me," and it did it for you.
Yeah, yeah. I think I would beautifully summarize this in a way is that people think your body commands your mind. It's your mind that commands your body, right? Like when you are talking about me also, and when I talk about you also, it's about I told my body that you have to heal, irrespective of what has happened, right? You have to heal, and we are gonna do this together. So, right, and when you start to realize that your body is supposed to move the way you think, not the other way around, life changes, right? I can visualize this in my mind. 18, 19 year old Prem, 20-year old Prem just had a dream. He did not had a roadmap, he did not have a navigator, he did not had anything. What he had was guts, courage to believe that it's gonna happen. What I need to do is just make sure that I am on the road that is close to where I need to belong. All you had was a dream.
Yes.
And the entire journey of starting this podcast was to make people realize how powerful a dream can be for someone, right? It's the biggest motivation. Even Arnold said this, like, people thought I was poor but I was richest. Why? Because I had the dream that nobody had, right? I had the dream to become an actor when people thought bodybuilding Olympia is the biggest thing that I could achieve. I did that multiple times, but that was not my end goal. That was the end goal for maybe an athlete. But the actor in me, what I wanted to see was myself in a Bollywood movie. And I never had this vision in my mind that I would not succeed. Even the first film went flop,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then the Terminator
He
came,
is
and
a
that,
poor actor actually, but he made it big. He's still a poor actor,
yeah,
but he made it big.
yeah, yeah. I think I told a very fancy story to myself, hence I'm here. Prem did the same to himself, hence he's here, right? And trust me, coming from India, it's very difficult to have very big dreams in Indian ecosystem. That I would say that because people obviously want you to live a very safe and conventional life, but safe is poor, and I would say risky is sort of rich here, because you can live a very safe life and that's not a wrong life to live. But I don't know, I'm obsessed with reaching to my true potential, right? If I have one life to live, and that's the only thing I have, why not live it at its best? Why live average?
Neeraj,
Why
what's the
live?
alternative? Alternative is not living, not living how you want to live. So, do you want the alternative or do you want the one which you just now did? Simple. Choice is very
Yeah,
simple. The alternative to not getting what you want is, put it in the points one, two, three, four.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Then you can see clearly where you want to be. Once you know where you want to be, work on it. Simple,
yeah,
work on it.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
now through this podcast we have established you can get.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. So you know you can get. You are not living what you want to be, the way you want to be. Then there is all the solution is very simple. The path is laid out there.
So true. So true. I think we have given a very clear roadmap to somebody who wants to change his mindset, to somebody who has a dream, to somebody who wants to live the life at its best. You know, through both of our experiences. If I could just ask you one last question before I end this podcast, is what is, according to you, the one quality that maybe made you thrive in that difficult times when you wanted to give up? Like, I know everybody has that self reflection, when things become a little difficult, when you feel like, okay, why am I taking so much of pain, why I want to live life at its peak. You have that one moment of weakness, and that is what defines a champion. Like, if you can surpass that one moment now, you beat everyone. So I want to ask you that, and I'm sure that there might have been phases like when you wanted to get into that household butler thing, when you were struggling to do that, right? So what is that one quality of Prem or anybody that can use, that helped you come out of that moment of weakness?
Um, for example, currently I'm on a new project and I've been having a lot of failures. Not failures, I would say lessons. I won't call anything a failure. There is
Yes.
no failure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been having
No failure.
lessons.
Absolutely.
And that has, in a year's time now, have redefined my positioning. So I'm working on that new positioning which has been redefined. So to summarize, to answer your question, I'm I'm not giving up by saying it didn't work. I'm redefining myself. I'm positioning myself differently by learning that this which I started as a priority can go to the backbench. Still, that one I'm not given up. That will happen,
Correct.
but I realized this is not the time. I realized there are some through this journey. I have a clarity in what are the low hanging fruits. Let me go to this low hanging fruits
Got it.
and get it. But that is also in line with what I'm going to do, but it is just redefining. So in your journey, like how you said, there could be setbacks, there could be failures, there could be things you just think that these are lessons, these are the ways which we not 9,000 this what's his name, Thomas Alva Edison got his bulb
Yeah. Yeah.
11,800
Yeah.
times. 11,799 times he learned how to do it correctly. How to do it wrongly,
Correct.
how to not to do is what he was doing 11,909 times, 99 times. 11,800th time he got it right. So to get that one right, 11 to come to 11,800, he has to climb the steps of 11,799 steps. So whenever you, in whatever we do, we are having the setbacks, we have made a wrong decision. We just have to think it's the price which you have to pay for what we are going to get.
So true.
Believe me, there is a price for everything. There is no,
There is.
when
There
you
is.
accept that, when you accept that, then lives become easier.
Yes. Yes. Um, there is a line that I would like to say, to add on to what you're saying, is that exhaust your failure so that only thing that's left is success.
Yeah.
People who succeed early are the ones who have failed much more faster than you. You think failure is bad? No, I think it's beautiful, because that's the only way you shortlist yourself. This works for me, right? And that is so true. And the most beautiful thing that you learn sometimes through these experiences is the gap that you need to fill. I understand this. Now I need to go from level 2 to level 5. I'm not yet at level 5, so hence maybe I'm not getting what I'm supposed to get. So now I have realized it that there is a 3 level ka difference that I need to cover.
Yeah, and also
So oftentimes,
universe will deliver only when you are ready. If you didn't reach there,
so true.
that's what is you are saying now.
Yeah,
If you not
yeah,
come to you want level 5 is an aspiration, or
yeah,
you ready for
yeah,
level 5,
yeah.
or you in the position to deserve level 5, or you then it will come. Sooner or later it will come.
Yes. When you're worthy, it happens. No
Yeah.
doubt.
So you need to discover what are the qualities for level 5. What are the requirements for level 5? Level 5 should know this one, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm here. I've
Correct.
done 1 and 2. I'm thorough. I'm good. I'm happy. I'm confident. So 3, 4, and 5. Cover it. And then keep consistently working on it. In no time it will come.
That's so true. I think that wraps up a very beautiful podcast with Prem today. and it was absolute pleasure to be able to have a conversation with you. As you have said multiple times, one conversation can change your life, and it can add a lot of value to everyone who watches this podcast. So thank you once again for being on the show and for sparing your time.
Neeraj, thank you. It's been a pleasure and privilege for somebody who is so much influential through your life and what you're doing and what you're how you are reaching out to people and influencing people's lives. My salutations to you, and I'm really
It's very humbling.
yes, yes. It is some noble thing what you're doing, and I really wish you all the best in having this to reach as many people as possible. Thank you.
Thank you.
हमारी बस एक छोटी सी रिक्वेस्ट है, अगर आप लोगों को ये पॉडकास्ट अच्छा लग रहा है ना और इससे आपकी लाइफ में वैल्यू ऐड हो रही है ना, तो इसको एक बंदे के साथ ज़रूर शेयर करना। इससे हमें पता चलता है कि हम अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं एंड लोगों को उसी काम का बेनिफिट मिलता है। सो थैंक यू।